They told you to play it safe. They told you to stay in your lane. But here's the truth. The lane was never meant for you. You were born to create your own road, your life, your choice, your dream. And today, right now, is the moment you stop waiting for permission to live it. They told you that life has a map, that success has a direction, a formula, a timeline. But here's what they don't tell you. The map wasn't drawn for you. It was drawn by people who settled for less and called it safety. From the moment you opened your eyes, the world started telling you who to be, what to wear, what to study, how to dream, and when to give up. You were taught to follow, not to feel, to obey, not to create. But somewhere deep inside you, there's a voice that refuses to stay quiet. It whispers in the dark when no one's watching. It says, "You were made for more." That voice is your truth. It's not asking for permission to exist. It's demanding that you listen. Because the moment you decide to own your life, everything changes. The moment you stop waiting for the world to choose you and choose yourself instead, that's when you step into your real power. Owning your power doesn't mean being fearless. It means standing tall even when you're terrified. It means showing up when no one believes in you, not even yourself. It means walking into rooms where you don't yet belong and acting like you do. People may call it arrogance. It's not. It's awareness. Awareness of your worth, your value, your light. See, most people shrink so others feel comfortable. But you weren't born to shrink. You were born to expand, to take up space, to make people look twice when you enter a room. Not because of what you wear or how you speak, but because of the energy that follows you. When you own your power, you stop chasing validation. You stop performing for applause. You stop waiting for someone else to crown you. Because you realize you were the crown all along. But power isn't handed to you. It's built, brick by brick, moment by moment, through pain, through doubt, through relentless persistence. The nights you cried but still showed up. The mornings you woke up questioning everything but kept moving anyway. That's power. Not the kind that screams or boasts, but the quiet, unbreakable kind that can't be taken away. Real power doesn't need to announce itself. It irradiates. It's not given by titles, money, or fame. It's found in your ability to rise after being told you can't. Every scar, every setback, every rejection. It's not proof that you failed. It's proof that you survived. Power lives in the comeback, not the comfort zone. There will always be people who try to make you forget who you are. They'll say you're too loud, too bold, too ambitious, too emotional. Don't shrink yourself to fit their story. They only see the world through the limits of their own courage. When you begin to own your power, you start threatening those who never claim theirs. They'll try to pull you back to the level where they feel safe. But your growth will always make others uncomfortable. Let it. Because if your presence doesn't challenge the room, your purpose isn't being fulfilled. You weren't made to be digestible. You are made to be undeniable. And sometimes, the hardest part of owning your power is letting go of people, of habits, of identities that no longer serve you. Power demands alignment. You cannot rise while clinging to what keeps you small. That means walking away from voices that drown your spirit, from environments that celebrate your silence more than your strength. It means unlearning the belief that humility means shrinking. True humility is knowing your worth so deeply that you no longer need to prove it. It's standing in your light without apology. It's saying, "This is who I am," even if your voice shakes while saying it. Power isn't arrogance. Power is authenticity turned all the way up. So when life pushes you to the edge, when everything feels like it's falling apart, remember this. It's not falling apart. It's falling into place. You're not losing control. You're being invited to take control. The storm isn't here to break you. It's here to reveal you. Every challenge is a mirror showing you how strong you've become. And the moment you stop asking, "Why me?" and start saying, "Try me," that's when the shift happens. That's when you step into your full, undeniable, unstoppable power. You'll no longer look at the world as something happening to you, but something happening for you. For those who own it. Own your name, voice, your story, your scars, your fire. Own the parts of you that make people uncomfortable. Own the parts that make you extraordinary. Because the world doesn't need another copy, it needs the original, you. The one who dared to rise, to choose, to dream. The one who stopped waiting for a hero and became one. Your life is not a rehearsal. Your choices are not small. Your dream is not impossible, it's yours. Bold, real, and waiting. Own your power. Don't borrow it. Live it, breathe it, be it. People will tell you to be realistic, to tone it down, to be practical. Then let me tell you something about realistic. It's just another word for limited. The people who built planes, rockets, and empires weren't realistic. They were dreamers who refused to listen when the world said, no. Here the dream is yours, and because it's yours, no one else will understand it. They don't see the fire that keeps you up at 2 a.m. They don't hear the conversations you have with your own ambition. They don't feel that ache inside you that whispers, meant for more. And that's why your dream must stay sacred. Because the world will try to tame it, twist it, and talk you out of it. You have to protect it like it's oxygen, because for you it is. Without it, you're just existing. With it, you're alive. The most dangerous thing you can do is hand your dream to people who don't believe in dreaming. You can't expect those who gave up on themselves to cheer for you. They won't. Not because you're wrong, but because your courage exposes their fear. When they say it's impossible, what they really mean is that they couldn't do it. When they laugh, it's not because your dream is ridiculous. It's because they can't imagine having your kind of fire. Don't take it personally. Take it as proof. Proof that you're dreaming beyond the average. The world doesn't reward the cautious. It rewards the relentless. So when someone doubts you, smile. Because every you can't is a hidden, I wish I could. Let their disbelief be your gasoline. Let their silence be your motivation. Protect your dream by refusing to explain it to people who can't see past their own limits. Your dream will test you, it will demand sacrifice, it will ask for everything, your comfort, your patience, your pride. And most people quit not because they didn't want it, but because they didn't understand what it truly costs. See, dreams don't just happen. They're built in the dark, with blood, sweat, and doubt. They grow in moments when no one claps for you, when no one even notices you. But that's where greatness begins, not on stages, but in silence. Every single person you admire was once invisible. Every success story started with a moment of frustration that could have ended it all. The difference? They protected their dream even when no one else believed it would survive. They showed up when it hurt. They stayed when it was lonely. They didn't protect their comfort, they protected their calling. There will be seasons when your dream feels too heavy to carry. When the weight of failure sits on your chest and the road ahead looks endless. That's when most people let go. Not because they don't care, but because they forget why they started. So when that moment comes, and it will come, pause and remember what made you begin. Remember that spark, that impossible idea that made your heart race, that vision that made you forget time. Go back to it. Let it remind you who you are. The dream was never meant to be easy. It was meant to reveal your strength. You're not just chasing something, you're becoming something. You're becoming the kind of person who can hold the weight of their own vision. That's why the journey is hard. Because it's not just about achieving, it's about transforming. And here's the truth no one tells you, not every dream is meant to be shared. Some dreams need to stay between you and the universe until they're ready to bloom. Because when you speak them too early, you invite fear disguised as advice. People will start projecting their failures onto your future. They'll tell you to be careful, to think twice, to slow down. But you don't need permission to evolve. You don't need approval to believe in something bigger. Protect your dream from small minds and shallow energy. Surround yourself with people who don't just see your dream, they just see you. Are the ones who challenge you to grow, not shrink. The ones who remind you that your dream doesn't have to make sense to anyone but you. And one day, when your dream becomes your reality, those same people who doubted you will ask, "How did you do it?" And you'll smile, not with arrogance, but with peace. Because you'll know the truth, you didn't just chase a dream, you became the kind of person who could live it. Every tear, every late night, every heartbreak, it wasn't wasted, it was investment. You didn't protect your dream for fame or validation. You protected it because it was the truest expression of who you are. You built it with faith when there was no evidence. And now, when the world finally sees what you always saw, it won't feel like luck. It'll feel like destiny. So protect your dream with everything you have. Defend it from fear, nurture it with action, feed it with belief so powerful that even doubt bows in its presence. Because your dream is not a fantasy, it's a promise of what you can become if you refuse to give up. When the world says be realistic, smile and say, "I am, this is my reality." Because no one else can carry your dream, no one else can give it life. That's your job. That's your gift. Protect it, pursue it. And when the world finally catches up, stand tall and know, you didn't just chase your dream. You protected it until it became unstoppable. Via fear. That word has paralyzed more dreams than failure ever could. We grow up believing that fear is something to avoid, something shameful, something that makes us weak. But fear isn't your enemy. It's your signal. It's your body and soul whispering, you're about to step into something bigger. Every great thing that has ever been built, every movement, every invention, every revolution, was born from someone who felt fear and acted anyway. The people who changed the world didn't do it because they were fearless. They did it because they refused to let fear silence them. Fear is proof that you care. Proof that you're stretching, that you're alive, that you're standing on the edge of your own evolution. The goal is not to eliminate fear. The goal is to master it. Because when you walk with fear, you walk with truth. Most people wait for courage to show up before they act. But courage doesn't come first. Action does. You have to move through fear, not around it. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the decision to take one more step despite it. The truth is, fear and potential live in the same space. The only difference between those who make history and those who fade away is who learns to dance with their fear instead of running from it. When fear shows up before a big decision, before a new chapter, before a bold dream, it's not warning you to stop. It's inviting you to rise. Every time you face fear, you're rewiring your mind to trust yourself again. You're proving that the voice inside you is louder than the noise around you, and that is where transformation begins. But silence. Silence is the true killer. Fear only grows in quiet places. The more you hide, the more you hand your power to it. You think staying quiet will protect you, but all it does is build a cage around your potential. How many times have you swallowed your truth just to keep the peace? How many times have you dimmed your light so someone else wouldn't feel insecure? The world teaches us that silence keeps us safe, but safe isn't the goal. Safe never changed anything. Safe never started a movement. Safe never created art, innovation, or impact. Your voice is your weapon. Your story is your shield. And when you speak, even if it shakes, you remind others that they can too. That's how revolutions begin. One brave voice refusing to disappear. There's a strange kind of freedom that comes when you finally speak your truth. The moment you stop editing yourself for approval, you begin to breathe differently. You realize you've been carrying the weight of everyone else's expectations, and suddenly you let it drop. Speaking up doesn't always mean shouting from a stage. It can be as simple as saying, "Nay, no more. No more settling, no more pretending, no more hiding behind what's comfortable." The world needs your authenticity, not your perfection, because perfection is an illusion built to keep you silent. Authenticity is what makes people stop and feel something. When you show the world who you truly are, fear loses its grip. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. It doesn't make the shadows disappear, but it reminds, you that you can see beyond them. Every time you silence yourself, you tell the universe you're not ready. But every time you speak, you expand. You stretch the limits of your own courage, and that ripple reaches people you may never even meet. Someone, somewhere, is waiting to hear the words only you can say. Maybe your story becomes the permission someone else needs to live again. That's the power of voice. It doesn't end with you, it moves through you, into others, into generations. Don't rob the world of your truth because you're afraid of judgment. Judgment is temporary, regret is eternal. And if you don't speak your truth, someone else will rewrite it for you. Your silence will become their story. Don't give them that power. Fear will always be there, whispering its familiar tune. You're not ready, you're not enough. What if you fail? But here's the secret, it's lying. You've been ready. You've been enough. And failure, it's not the opposite of success, it's the pathway to it. Fear will follow you until you decide it doesn't get to drive anymore. It can sit in the back seat, but your purpose holds the wheel. When you choose your voice over silence, when you choose action over hesitation, you rewrite your entire life. You become the kind of person who doesn't wait for courage. You create it, because every time you face fear and still move forward, you tell the world, I am here. I will not be quiet. I will not disappear. And that is power. Invite or don't run from fear. Invite it. Don't hide in silence. Break it. Speak your truth even when your voice shakes, because that tremble is the sound of evolution. Let the world hear you. Let it feel you. Let it know that you refuse to let fear decide the story you told. You were not born to be invisible. You were not made to be silent. You were made to rise, to roar, to remind the world that fear does not define you. Your courage does. And when you finally choose to speak, not only will you find your power, you'll help others find theirs too. That is your legacy. That is your truth. That is your voice. Loud, unshaken, and unforgettable. That you will fall. You will stumble. You will face moments that break you open in ways you never imagined. That's not a prediction, it's a promise. Because life doesn't move in straight lines, it moves in storms. You'll work for something, give it everything, and still watch it slip through your fingers. You'll trust the wrong people, love too deeply, dream too loudly. When it all comes crashing down, you'll wonder if you were ever meant to rise again. But here's the thing. Those moments are not the end of your story. They're the training ground for your strength. You cannot build resilience in comfort. You can only build it in the fire. The times that nearly destroy you are the same times that will define you. Falling isn't failure, it's preparation. It's life asking, how bad do you want it? When you fall, it feels like the world has stopped, like the lights have gone out and no one can hear you anymore. You'll start questioning everything, your choices, your dreams, even your worth. But here's the truth. Pain isn't punishment, it's instruction. It's the universe's way of breaking the version of you that can't carry what's coming next. Every time you hit rock bottom, you're actually standing on the foundation of your next rise. That's why it hurts so much. It's growth disguised as chaos. You're not falling apart, you're being rebuilt. You're learning who you are without the titles, the noise, the masks. And what you find in that quiet, broken space, that's your real power. The world only sees your success. But your strength, that's forged in the unseen hours, when it's just you, your fear, and the decision to get back up one more time. It's easy to celebrate victories, but it's the losses that shape your character. Every failure leaves behind a lesson, and every lesson builds resilience. The most powerful people you know didn't rise because they had it easy. They rose because they refused to stay down. They cried, they broke, they doubted, and then they stood up anyway. Resilience is not perfection. It's persistence. It's choosing to believe that something greater still exists for you, even when every sign says otherwise. You may not control what happens to you, but you control what happens in you. That's what resilience really is. The quiet, relentless belief that you will not end where you fell. Every scar, every wound, every heartbreak becomes proof that you survived what was meant to destroy you. That's not weakness, that's your crown. There's beauty in the fall if you dare to see it. Because falling teaches you humility. It strips away your ego and introduces you to your raw self. It makes you kinder, deeper, more human. The version of you that emerges after pain is wiser, more grounded, more unstoppable. The truth is, without falling, you'd never discover your strength. You'd never know how high you could rise. The people who fear falling never experience flight. They stay safe, stay small, stay still. But you, if you're brave enough to fall, you're brave enough to rise beyond where you started. Falling isn't the opposite of success. It's a part of it. Every rise begins with a fall. The ground you hit today becomes the stage you'll stand on tomorrow. And when you rise differently. You don't come back the same person who fell. You come back sharper, calmer, more powerful. The things that used to break you no longer have the same hold. Because resilience doesn't just teach you how to recover. It teaches you how to rise with wisdom. You start recognizing what truly matters and what doesn't. The noise fades, the opinions disappear, and you realize that strength isn't loud, it's steady. It's the quiet confidence of someone who's been through the fire and came out glowing. You begin to see that every obstacle was not a stop sign. It was a test. And the fact that you're still here, breathing, standing, fighting, that means you passed. The world doesn't define your power, your rise does. So when life knocks you down again, and it will, remember who you are. You've survived too much to let this moment defeat you. Stand tall in your scars because they're proof of your resilience. Stand proud in your pain because it shaped your purpose. You don't need to be perfect to rise. You just need to decide that you're not done yet. Every rise begins with one choice, to get back up, again and again, in and again. Because you are not your failures. You are not your losses. You are the strength that came from them. Life will keep testing you, but every time you rise, you send a message to the world. I am still here. And that message is power. So rise. Rise even when you're tired. Rise even when you're scared. Rise when they doubt you, when they underestimate you, when they hope you'll stay down. Rise because you've earned it. Rise because you're built for it. Fall down 7 times, rise 8. And if you have to, rise 9, 10, 1,000 more. Because your story isn't about how many times you fell. It's about how many times you refuse to stay there. The world doesn't remember the ones who never fell. It remembers the ones who fell, broke, healed, and came back unshakable. That's who you are. That's who you've always been. A fighter, a survivor, a force that cannot be stopped. So rise again and again and again until the world has no choice but to rise with you. Here who decided what success should look like? Who said that you have to follow a straight line, tick boxes, fit into a mold, and live by rules that were written long before you were even born? Somewhere along the way, society built a checklist and called it a life. Go to school, get the job, buy the house, stay quiet, retire, and then maybe you'll be happy, but what if you're not? What if something inside you craves more? Something wild, something unpredictable, something that doesn't come with a manual. That voice inside you that keeps whispering, "Hey, there's more." That's not rebellion, it's truth. Because the people who change the world are never the ones who followed the rules, they're the ones who questioned them. They're the ones who looked at tradition and said, "That may have worked for you, but I was made for something else." Rules are built for control, not creation. They exist to make people comfortable, to keep things predictable, to stop you from dreaming beyond the fence. But the fence isn't protection, it's a prison. And too many people spend their entire lives decorating their prison cells instead of breaking the walls. The rules that told you what's possible were written by people who stopped pushing. People who decided that enough was good enough. But you don't fit in that story. You weren't born to repeat history. You were born to rewrite it. Every dream that's ever shaped the world was once considered impossible. Every innovation was once labeled foolish. Every visionary was once called crazy. And yet, they all had one thing in common. They refused to follow the script. They tore it apart and wrote their own. Rewriting the rules means giving yourself permission to fail, to experiment, to start over, and to live differently. It means breaking the illusion that there's only one way to succeed. Because success isn't a destination, it's a definition. And you get to define it. You get to decide what fulfillment feels like, what freedom looks like, what happiness means to you. Some people will call it selfish. But it's not selfish to build a life that feels like your own. It's self-aware. You weren't designed to fit in, you were designed to stand out. And when you finally embrace that truth, you realize that the only rule worth following is this: if it costs you your peace, your authenticity, or your purpose, it's too expensive. Because what's the point of winning by the world's standards if you lose yourself in the process? Breaking rules isn't about chaos, it's about clarity. It's not rebellion for rebellion's sake. It's about breaking patterns that never served you. It's about saying no to fear-based limits and yes to your truth. The world will call you reckless. They'll say you're unrealistic. But the same people who doubt you will one day use your story as motivation. Every movement that mattered started with one person brave enough to question the norm. When you choose to rewrite the rules, you give others permission to do the same. You show them that it's possible to live with purpose instead of pressure. That it's possible to succeed without selling your soul. The greatest legacy you can leave is the life that proves the system doesn't define you. You define it. But here's the part no one talks about. Rewriting the rules is lonely. Because when you stop following the crowd, you stop belonging to it. You'll lose people. You'll be misunderstood. You'll outgrow versions of yourself that you once loved. And that's okay. Growth isn't supposed to be comfortable. It's supposed to be honest. Every time you let go of something that doesn't align with your truth, you create space for something that does. The road of originality isn't crowded, but it's sacred. You'll find strength in solitude and freedom in authenticity. Because the real power in breaking the rules isn't just in what you create, it's in who you become. You become someone who answers only to your own soul. Someone who knows that freedom is worth the fight. Someone who no longer waits for permission to exist fully. And when you look back one day, you'll realize that rewriting the rules wasn't about rebellion at all. It was about remembrance. Remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. Remembering that your life is not a template to copy, it's a masterpiece to create. You'll see that every risk you took, every boundary you shattered, every no you dared to say, it was all leading you home. Because the greatest rule breakers aren't destructive. They're builders. They don't destroy what exists just to cause chaos. They break it open to let more. Respect doesn't come from how loud you are. It comes from how true you are. Legacy is built in quiet consistency, not in constant performance. Building legacy means asking yourself a hard question. What will remain when I'm gone? Not your followers, not your bank balance, not the highlight reel you post online, but your essence, the lives you touched, the hearts you healed, the people you inspired just by being yourself. That's what endures. Legacy isn't about being remembered for what you had, it's about being remembered for what you gave. And giving doesn't always mean grand gestures. Sometimes it's in the way you listen when someone feels unseen, the way you show up when no one expects you to, the way you keep your word even when it costs you something. Those moments, the quiet, unseen ones, are where true legacy is written. The world doesn't need more perfection. It needs more people who care deeply, love loudly, and live authentically. Living for legacy also means learning to let go of the need to please, of the fear of judgment, of the pressure to prove yourself. When you let go of those chains, you start living from a place of freedom instead of fear. You start asking, what matters most to me, instead of what will they think of me? Approval ties you to the surface. Legacy roots you in purpose. And the deeper your purpose runs, the harder it is for life to shake you. You stop measuring your worth by comparison, because you realize that your value was never up for negotiation. The people who live for approval spend their lives chasing trends. The people who live for legacy spend their lives creating truth. Approval wants to be seen, legacy wants to make a difference. And the difference between the two is everything. But make no mistake, living for legacy requires courage, because when you stop seeking approval, you start threatening those who depend on it. People will misunderstand you. They'll call you arrogant, difficult, detached. Let them. Because the path of purpose will always look like rebellion to those who've never walked it. You're not here to be liked by everyone. You're here to light something in someone. Approval is about how many people clap for you. Legacy is about how many lives you ignite. And that requires boldness. It requires choosing depth over comfort, integrity over popularity, and truth over convenience. It means making decisions that won't make sense to everyone, but will make sense to your soul. You can't leave a mark on the world if you're afraid to stand apart from it. And one day, when the applause has faded and the world has moved on, you'll look back and you'll know. You'll know that you didn't waste your life chasing validation. You built something real. You lived a life that mattered. You loved fiercely, stood boldly, spoke truthfully, and left this world a little better than you found it. You'll realize that legacy isn't a monument, it's a ripple. It's the unseen ways your courage inspired someone else to rise. It's the words that echo long after you're gone. That's what makes a life unforgettable. Not how perfectly you played the part, but how bravely you lived the truth. I'd also stop chasing applause. Stop performing for approval. Build something deeper. Build something that will outlive you. Because a life built on validation fades the moment the lights go out. But a life built on purpose keeps glowing long after you're gone. Don't measure your worth by the noise around you. Measure it by the hearts you've touched, the change you've sparked, the truth you've stood for. Legacy isn't built in a day. It's built every time you choose courage over comfort, authenticity over acceptance, purpose over praise. Live in a way that when people remember you, they don't just say your name, they feel your impact. That is the real success. That is legacy. And it begins right now with you. Your life is your canvas. Every choice you make, every risk you take, every dream you chase, it all becomes the brushed rope that defines your masterpiece. But too many people hand the brush to someone else. They let others dictate the colors, the lines, the shape of their story. They live by expectation instead of intention. They play it safe because safety feels familiar, even when it's suffocating. But the truth is, no one can paint your masterpiece for you. No one can feel your passion, fight your battles, or fulfill your destiny. This life is yours, unfiltered, unedited, unapologetic. And the beauty of it lies in your willingness to make it your own. To stop copying other people's paintings and start creating one that feels like you. Every masterpiece begins with chaos. Every beautiful creation starts as a mess of color and confusion. You'll make mistakes, you'll change directions, you'll question yourself, and that's exactly how it's supposed to be. Growth isn't clean, it's wild. Creation isn't easy, it's uncomfortable. But the discomfort means you're moving, you're stretching, you're alive. So many people never reach their potential because they can't stand the mess that comes before the magic. They want clarity before they begin, certainty before they commit. But clarity doesn't come first, it comes from action. You find your rhythm in the process, you find your purpose in the doing. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, it doesn't exist. The masterpiece begins the moment you decide to pick up the brush, no matter how uncertain your hands feel. Your choices shape your reality. Every yes and every no is a declaration of who you are becoming. You can't control every circumstance, but you can always control your response. And that's where your power lies, in choice. The choice to rise when it's easier to quit. The choice to keep believing when doubt is louder than faith. The choice to stay kind in a world that rewards cruelty. Every great life is built on a foundation of bold choices. But bold doesn't mean reckless. It means intentional. It means choosing alignment over approval, growth over comfort, meaning over mediocrity. You're not defined by the things that happen to you. You're defined by the way you respond to them. Life will test you, but your choices will transform you. And then there's the dream, the heartbeat of your existence. The thing that keeps you awake at night, the vision that won't leave you alone. You owe it to yourself to chase it. Not because it's easy, but because it's yours. Your dream is your responsibility, your calling, your truth in motion. It's not random, it's a reflection of your potential. And the world doesn't need another copy of what already exists. It needs the unique dream that only you can bring to life. The people who change the world aren't the ones who dream safely. They're the ones who dream audaciously. They take the risk of being misunderstood. They face failure and fear, but they move anyway. Because chasing your dream isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about waking up every day and choosing to believe in something that doesn't yet exist. But the world will test your fire. It will try to convince you that your dream is too big, your goals too unrealistic, your passion too much. And if you're not careful, you'll start to shrink to make others comfortable. You'll start to edit yourself until you don't even recognize your reflection. That's why you must protect your energy like it's sacred, because it is. You don't owe anyone an explanation for wanting more. You don't need permission to outgrow the version of yourself that once fit into someone else's narrative. The path to greatness is lonely not because you're unworthy, but because not everyone is meant to walk it with you. You're building something only you can see, and that vision will demand discipline, patience, and relentless belief. Every time you choose your dream over doubt, you're rewriting your future in real time. And one day, after all the chaos, the struggle, the doubt, you'll look at the canvas of your life and see what you've created. You'll see the places where you almost gave up, the chapters that broke you, the moments that healed you. You'll realize it wasn't perfect, but it was real. It was yours. You'll see that every wrong turn, every heartbreak, every leap of faith was necessary to shape the masterpiece that became your story. That's the beauty of it. You were never meant to live someone else's version of success. You were meant to live yours, to build something that carries your soul in every stroke. And in that moment, you'll understand what freedom truly means. Not the absence of failure, but the courage to live fully, to create boldly, and to keep painting even when the picture wasn't clear. So don't wait for a sign. Be the sign. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Make one move and let life meet you halfway. Your life is your canvas, your choices are the brush, and your dream is the color that brings it all to life. No one else can paint this masterpiece for you, and no one else will ever live it the way you can. So take the brush back. Paint with passion, paint with pain, paint with fire. Paint like your life depends on it, because it does. And when it's all said and done, may your canvas tell the story of someone who didn't just exist, but someone who lived, created, believed, and became everything they were meant to be. This is your masterpiece. This is your moment. This is your life, bold, brave, and breathtakingly yours. Here there comes a moment when you realize that no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to hand you the life you've dreamed of. No one is going to wake you up, drag you out of bed, and make you chase what sets your soul on fire. It's all on you. And that realization, though it may sting at first, is the most liberating truth you'll ever know. Because it means you hold the power. You are not a passenger in your own life, you are the driver. The moment you stop waiting for a sign and decide to be the sign, everything changes. You stop asking for permission to exist fully. You stop apologizing for your ambition. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable. You start showing up for yourself, fiercely and without fear. Because your destiny doesn't respond to hesitation, it responds to action. The world has a way of convincing you to wait for the right time, wait for the right opportunity, wait until you're ready. But here's the truth. There is no perfect moment. There is no ideal starting point. The people who create extraordinary lives don't wait for everything to align. They start with what they have and build as they go. They step forward before the path is clear. They move while everyone else hesitates. Because momentum builds clarity. Every bold step you take, even the uncertain ones, opens a new door. Waiting keeps you stuck. Movement transforms you. You don't need a guarantee, you need courage. You don't need certainty, you need faith. The greatest mistake is thinking you have time. You don't. Every second you spend doubting yourself is a second stolen from your future. Life doesn't reward the ones who wait, it rewards the ones who dare. But daring isn't just about action, it's about belief. It's about looking at your reflection and choosing to see potential instead of limitations. Too many people live their lives defined by the stories others wrote for them. They carry labels, expectations, and fears that were never theirs to begin with. But belief is the rebellion against that narrative. It's the declaration that says, "He will not be who the world tells me to be." You have to see yourself as capable before anyone else will. You have to bet on yourself when no one else does. Belief is not built on proof, it's built on trust. Trust in your effort, your purpose, your ability to rise. When you decide to believe fully, the world starts to bend in your favor. Not because it suddenly becomes easier, but because you become stronger. And yes, the road will test that belief. You will face moments where everything feels impossible. You'll fail, fall, and question why you even started. But the hardest chapters are the ones that teach you the most. Every setback is a lesson in disguise. Every obstacle a mirror showing you your own resilience. The pain doesn't mean you're off track, it means you're in motion. You cannot build strength without resistance. You cannot build depth without challenge. Every scar you carry is a reminder that you kept going when others quit. You have to learn to look at the struggle not as punishment, but as preparation. The universe will keep breaking you open until you finally step into who you were meant to become. You weren't made to live an easy life. You were made to live an extraordinary one. There will be people who don't understand you, people who criticize your choices, who mock your dreams, who try to convince you to play small. Let them talk. They only see you through the limits of their own courage. You owe no one an explanation for living a life that feels true to you. The truth is, when you start becoming the fullest version of yourself, you'll trigger those who never had the courage to do the same. Don't take it personally. Let their doubt become your drive. You are not here to be understood. You are here to be felt. You are here to leave a mark, to make people stop and think, to challenge what's possible. The path of authenticity is never easy, but it's always worth it. Because when you live boldly, you don't just change your life, you give others permission to change theirs too. And one day, when you look back, you'll realize you didn't need the perfect plan, the perfect timing, or the perfect approval. You just needed to begin. You'll see that everything you thought was a detour was actually direction, that every time you were afraid but moved anyway, you were shaping the life you were born to live. The magic was never in waiting, it was always in doing. The power was never in their hands, it was always in yours. The dream was never somewhere out there. It was within you all along, waiting for you to say yes. You are not defined by your fears, you are defined by the moments you faced them and rose anyway. The world doesn't need more dreamers, it needs more doers. It needs you. So don't wait, don't hesitate. Don't let fear write your story. Be the sign you've been waiting for. Start now. Start scared, start uncertain. Because the greatest mistake you can make is not failing, it's never beginning. The life you want won't come find you. You have to build it, brick by brick, choice by choice. And when the world asks who you are, let your actions answer. Let your courage speak louder than your doubt. Because the truth is, no one else can live your dream, no one else can walk your path, and no one else can fulfill your purpose. It's your life, your choice, your dream. Be the sign, be the spark, be the one who decided to begin, and never look back. There comes a time when you have to stop looking at the mountain and start climbing it. You've imagined the view long enough, talked about it, planned for it, maybe even convinced yourself that one day you'll get there. But dreams without discipline are just fantasies. You can't wish your way to greatness, you have to work for it. Every single day, even when you're tired, even when no one's watching, even when it feels like nothing is changing. Success doesn't come to the most talented, it comes to the most relentless, to those who keep showing up when others walk away, to those who treat every small step as sacred. The truth is, consistency is the language of mastery. You can't demand results from effort you never gave. The climb is long, it's steep, and it's not glamorous, but it's the only path that leads to the top. Discipline isn't punishment, it's power. It's the quiet force that separates those who dream from those who do. It's waking up before the world does, putting in the hours no one sees, building habits that align with the person you want to become. It's not always exciting, but it's always essential. Because discipline is what holds you steady when motivation disappears. Motivation is emotion, it comes and goes. But discipline is identity, it's who you decide to be, even on the days you don't feel like it. The greatest achievers aren't necessarily the ones with the best ideas. They're the ones who execute consistently. They do what needs to be done, especially when it's hard. They understand that every repetition, every sacrifice, every disciplined choice compounds over time into something unstoppable. Discipline is the bridge between your vision and your victory. But to build that kind of discipline, you have to stop negotiating with yourself. You can't keep giving in to the voice that says, just tomorrow, or I'll start when I feel ready. You will never feel ready. Growth doesn't wait for your comfort. You have to train your mind to work for you, not against you. Every time you push past the urge to quit, you strengthen that inner muscle of self-trust. You prove to yourself that your word means something. That's where confidence comes from. Not from external praise, but from internal integrity. The moment you stop breaking promises to yourself, you become unstoppable. Because now your mind listens when you say, we're doing this. You've built proof through action, and that proof becomes power. Still, discipline doesn't mean perfection, it means persistence. You will stumble, you will fall, you will have days where nothing goes as planned. But true discipline isn't about never failing, it's about never staying down. It's learning to rise, adjust, and keep moving forward. Every champion has scars, but what defines them isn't the fall, it's the comeback. They use failure as feedback, not as finality. They don't waste time replaying what went wrong, they analyze, adapt, and act again. Because mastery is born in repetition. The grind refines you, the setbacks shape you, the discipline to keep going, even through defeat, is what molds you into someone unstoppable. You can't skip the struggle, it's the furnace that forges your greatness. But discipline also requires alignment. It's not about doing everything it's about doing the righter things. You can't pour your energy into distractions and expect to grow. You have to learn to say no, not out of arrogance, but out of focus. You have to know what matters and protect it fiercely. That means guarding your time, your attention, your peace. Because every yes to something meaningless is a no to your potential. Discipline is choosing purpose over pleasure, progress over procrastination. It's about training your focus to serve your future, not sabotage it. Every small, consistent choice becomes a brick in the foundation of the life you're building. You are either strengthening your habits or your excuses, every single day. And when you finally reach the summit, after all the late nights, the self-doubt, the setbacks, the sweat, you'll realize something powerful. It was never about the mountain. It was about who you became while climbing it. You'll look back at the version of you who almost gave up and feel nothing but gratitude that they didn't. Because discipline didn't just give you success, it gave you self-respect. You earned your strength, your peace, your power. You'll understand that consistency is not just a habit, it's a form of love. Love for your dream, love for your potential, love for the person you promised yourself you'd become. And in that moment, when you stand tall, you'll know the truth. You were never chasing the goal, you were building the person capable of achieving it. I'd also stop waiting, stop talking, stop planning every move before you take one. The time for hesitation is over. Discipline is not something you find, it's something you build day by day, choice by choice. Train your focus, protect your energy. Do the hard things, especially when they're inconvenient. Because every time you honor your word, you shape your destiny. Every day you show up, you become stronger than yesterday. You don't need luck, you need consistency. You don't need perfection, you need persistence. The mountain won't move for you, but it will reward those who climb. So climb with fire in your heart, with discipline in your soul, and with the unshakable belief that every step, no matter how small, is sculpting you into the masterpiece you were born to be. That is the power of discipline. That is the truth of greatness. After there's a point in every journey where you realize that the life you dream of isn't built by chance. It's built by a change, a real change. The kind that demands courage, honesty, and sacrifice. The kind that forces you to confront your habits, your fears, and your excuses. Most people want transformation without discomfort. They want growth without letting go. But change doesn't work like that. It's not a gentle process, it's a fire. It burns away everything that no longer serves you. It asks you to walk away from what's familiar and step into the unknown, trusting that something greater is waiting. Change begins the moment you stop saying someday and start saying now, because someday is a lie that steals your potential. The only time you truly have is now, and what you do with the know-how determines everything that comes next. Change isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily declaration. Every morning you get to choose who you will be. Will you repeat the patterns that keep you stuck, or will you rise and rewrite them? Transformation doesn't happen in grand cinematic moments. It happens in quiet consistency. It's in the morning you choose discipline over distraction. It's in the moment you face fear and take the step anyway. It's in every small act of courage that builds into something unstoppable. The version of you that you dream of becoming is waiting on the other side of your decisions. But you can't meet them if you keep defending your limitations. Growth demands accountability. It requires you to take ownership of your story. Not everything that happened to you was your fault, but healing from it is your responsibility. You can't heal in the same environment that broke you. Sometimes the boldest act of change is simply choosing yourself again and again until it becomes natural. But let's be honest. Change is lonely. It's uncomfortable. It's messy. When you start growing, you'll outgrow people, places, and patterns that once felt like home. You'll be misunderstood. You'll be questioned. You'll be called different. But that's the price of evolution. You can't evolve and stay the same. You can't move forward and hold on to everything behind you. Letting go isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's understanding that your peace matters more than your popularity. It's realizing that not everyone is meant to join you on the next level of your journey. Some people were lessons, not lifetimes. Change will strip you down, yes, but it will also rebuild you stronger, wiser, freer. The loneliness you feel while transforming is simply space being cleared for the life you've been asking for. Growth doesn't isolate you, it aligns you. It brings you closer to the truth of who you are. And when the fear of change tries to whisper in your ear, because it will, remember this. Fear is not a stop sign, it's a signal. It's a sign that you're stepping into territory that matters. Fear only shows up when something is worth doing. The key is not to eliminate fear, but to move with it. To understand that bravery isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to keep going despite it. Every time you walk through fear, you teach your mind that you're stronger than you think. And that confidence compounds. The more you face discomfort, the less control it has over you. You stop running from fear and start running toward growth, because deep down you already know staying the same costs more than changing ever will. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts. T.S. a lifetime. Change doesn't just alter your life, it transforms your identity. You start becoming someone you once only imagined, someone who no longer needs validation, who no longer fears standing alone, who no longer asks for permission to shine. You become grounded in your truth, unshakable in your purpose, and unstoppable in your pursuit. Change reveals your strength by forcing you to use it. It teaches you that transformation isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming way more of yourself. The version of you that's bold, brave, and fully alive has always been there. You just had to remove the layers of doubt, fear, and limitation to uncover it. Change doesn't add something new to you. It unveils what's always been within you. And once you taste that freedom, you'll never settle for who you used to be. And one day, when you look back, you'll realize that every hard decision, every heartbreak, every risk you took, it all made sense. The moments that once broke you became the very foundation of your power. The seasons where you felt lost were guiding you toward clarity. The times you thought it was over were actually just the beginning. Change was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to rebuild you. You'll stand there, stronger, clearer, more grounded than ever, and understand that every tear, every fear, every leap was worth it. Because change didn't just give you a new life, it gave you yourself. I'd also stop resisting change and start embracing it. Stop fearing the unknown and start trusting your becoming. The life you want will not come from comfort, it will come from courage. Every breakthrough begins with a decision to no longer live the same way. You are not stuck. You are simply standing at the edge of who you were and who you are meant to be. Step forward, break the pattern, burn the old version, evolve without apology, because the world doesn't need another person playing it safe. It needs someone brave enough to transform, someone willing to change so completely that their existence becomes proof that reinvention is possible. That someone is you. This is your moment to rise, to rebuild, to reclaim. Change isn't coming, it's here, and it begins with you. Ekhe.